The Center for Small Flock Research presents a brooder trial comparing a single-level galvanized brooder with the hatching time 4-level brooder. The galvanized brooder uses a thermostat wafer to control the heating element, and the hatching time brooder uses an infrared heater in each of the 4 levels. Each level of the hatching time brooder had 9 to 10 broiler chicks, and the galvanized brooder had 10 broiler chicks. We brooded chicks for 3 weeks and compared how chicks performed in each system. First, we compared body weights of the chicks in the 2 systems. Chicks in the galvanized brooder are represented by the blue bars, and you can see the chicks grew steadily during each week of brooding. The hatching time brooder chicks are in the orange bars. They did not grow to as large of a size as the others. At week 2, their chicks in the galvanized brooder were 26% larger. At week 3, the gap lessened to only a 15% difference between the 2 brooding systems. Now let's compare the total amount of feed consumed in each system for the 3-week period. We took the average of the number of pounds eaten by the 4 levels of the hatching time brooder, and it was 17 pounds. The chicks in the galvanized brooder ate more, a total of 28.8 pounds. This was 70% more than chicks in the hatching time brooder. In my area of the country, this meant that I only spent $6.46 on average to feed 1 level of the chicks in the hatching time brooder and $10.93 to feed chicks in the galvanized brooder. So does that mean that the chicks were efficiently converting all this feed into muscle? Let's find out. Next, we compared the feed conversion ratio of chicks in each brooder system during each week of brooding. The goal is to have 1 pound of gain for every pound of feed, so you want your ratios closer to 1, which means they're more efficient. At week 1, you can see that chicks in the hatching time brooder had a feed conversion ratio that was 2.5 times more efficient than the galvanized brooder. At week 2, hatching time chicks were 1.6 times more efficient, and at week 3, they were 1.4 times more efficient. So even though the chicks in the galvanized brooder grew larger and ate more food, they were less efficient in their conversion of that feed to muscle. It was also noted that chicks in the galvanized brooder wasted far more feed because they would bill it out onto the floor. One of the goals of using a brooder is to save flock owners on time and labor in getting their flocks off to a good start. The amount of time spent each day caring for chicks in the hatching time brooder is shown in orange. The amount of time to care for the birds did not vary or increase much over the course of brooding. The galvanized brooder, shown in blue, became increasingly time-consuming. This is because the troughs were small and required frequent refilling for both feed and water. Broiler chicks eat and drink a great deal. Also, again, the chicks were wasting feed by throwing it onto the floor. The feeders on the hatching time brooder were very large and had an anti-billing strip to prevent feed from being wasted. Keep in mind that the time indicated in orange is for caring for 4 levels of a brooder system, whereas the blue bars were for a single level of a galvanized brooder. A comparison of brooder systems would not be complete without looking at the energy bill for each. In my region of the country, the hatching time brooder, in orange, only cost $9.07 to run 1 level for 3 weeks. The galvanized brooder, in blue, cost $16.32 to run for the same amount of time. The galvanized brooder cost 83% more to run than the hatching time brooder. So if you're looking at energy costs on a per chick basis, it only costs 95 cents to brood chicks in the hatching time system and $1.63 in the galvanized brooder system. In summary, you will find better feed conversion, more efficient use of your time and labor, and lastly, greater energy savings by using the hatching time 4-level brooder over that of a galvanized brooder. That concludes our brooder trial. Many thanks to Hatching Time for allowing us to analyze their brooders' performance for the benefit of flock owners everywhere.